Hi, everybody. It's Jessica Stone at Stansberry Research, and I've reached Scott Garliss with the Stansberry Newswire on the line here. And Scott, we are watching, I guess we are now 4 months away from the November political election, something that typically in a summer like this, a hot one, we would see much more coverage of the political situation. But of course, we have the pandemic going on. Wall Street typically has a lot on the line in a presidential election year. You've worked on Wall Street. What's sort of the buzz about this far out from a presidential election? What are they worried about?
Yeah, so the one thing going into the Trump presidency was people were excited about the growth outlook and the growth opportunity and what Trump was going to do in terms of lowering taxes and cutting regulation. So a couple of months ago, the worry was with Biden and the potential for him to become president was that regulation was going to go up and taxes were going to go up. But now, with polls showing that Biden's got a big lead, some of that thinking is evolving. And because of what's happened with the pandemic and what has happened with the economy, Wall Street is coming around on Biden. And what they're thinking is he can't raise taxes or become overly regulatory right now because it would do too much economic damage.
Let me just back up here because he didn't do a lot to dispel the idea that he's going to tax and that he's not going to be investors' friends with his economic rollout, this $700 billion plan that he rolled out where he specifically said, I will raise taxes. And, I believe the quote was, let me just pull it up here.
If I'm fortunate enough to be elected president, I'll be laser focused on working families, the middle-class families I came from here in Scranton. Not the wealthy investor class. They don't need me, but working families do.
So he's really not giving a lot of comfort to Wall Street. What is it about what Wall Street believes will happen that is giving them this comfort when Biden's own words are not?
If Biden wants to get elected, he's going to have to appeal to the entire Democratic base. So he's going to have to pander to the far left, and he's going to have to say these things to get them to coalesce and come on board with Joe Biden as the candidate. So you're going to, like any other campaign from people on both sides, you're going to hear a lot of things. Not every single thing you're going to hear is going to be true or going to play out. But it's going to scare people and it's going to excite some other people. And this is the nature of politics. So cut through and realize, hey, you know what? This might not be best for the economy, but he's going to have to say this to get people to vote for him.
One of the other things he's saying is sort of trying to draw some of the Buy American voters away from the Trump camp. His message to voters was, we're going to invest in the United States. We're going to invest in Buy America.
And it starts with a pretty basic idea. When we spend taxpayers' money, when the federal government spends taxpayers' money, we should use it to buy American products and support American jobs.
But I wonder through the prism of Wall Street, which very much lives in the real world sense of how things are made in today's economy, I can't imagine that's a comforting message because we know that even American sold products are largely made all over the world, not just in the United States.
I think what Wall Street's also looking at right now with what's going on with the White House and China is that there is a big push to bring a lot of manufacturing, if not back to the U.S., push it to other areas that are cheap, or at least, bring it to North America, Central America, like bring more stuff into Mexico, more stuff into Canada. So we're kind of already moving in that direction. There's been impetus to try to bring semiconductor manufacturers back into the United States. Doesn't come as a big shock. And with what people are already thinking, it's like, well, we're already sort of headed in that direction anyway. So this doesn't feel like there's a ton new. I mean, where it's good is for small cap companies because they're mainly exposed to the U.S. If we look at, say, the Russell 2000 index, I believe it's 71% of that index's revenue comes from companies based here. So that's a great investment versus, say, not that the S&P is a bad investment, but the S&P has much more exposure to the rest of the world. I believe the revenue breakdown is about 50-50. So what you could see is as we get closer, you could see an outperformance in the Russell versus the S&P.
What are you hearing from your Wall Street contacts about the November election in the sense of who controls Congress? Because many people would say that's going to be just as important, if not more so, than who wins the White House.
Definitely. And so what the thinking is that the Democrats are not only going to take the White House right now, they're going to maintain control of the House, and they're probably going to take the Senate. And they're not going to take the Senate by a wide margin. And so what that'll do is that'll stop them from supermajority. Now, what a supermajority is they would have to have 60 seats in the Senate. They had that when Obama first got into office. And because the House, you only need the majority in the House to pass a bill, but you need 60 in the Senate to pass a bill. So it won't be easy for them without a supermajority just to do whatever they want. So yes, they're probably going to take all three chambers, but it'll be kept in check.
And kept in check in the sense that some of the more progressive ideas within the Democratic Party may not see the light of day. All right.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Scott Garliss. We appreciate your time. And if you would like to see much more content just like this, we'll be all over the elections as we get closer with Scott Garliss and all of our other analysts analyzing the impact on your investments. You can certainly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, please do find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Thanks so much for watching. That's all for now.